So the way my life is unfolding is changing in a way. Like, I find myself sitting down and just doing nothing sometimes. And it's so beautiful. If I could talk to my older seeker self, I would just tell him, just stop. There's nothing for you to get. Like, it's not you trying to understand something, it's the mind trying to understand conceptually what truth is. There is no conceptual truth. In the mind, there is only a relative truth. There's always the possibility for someone to come into your life and tell you that the way you look at the truth is not true. It's just not. It's just not the real deal. The absolute truth is something that is completely in harmony with the whole universe, with just life. You'll just feel it, and it's so close to just doing nothing. So if I could talk to my older seeker self, I would tell him, just sit down and abide in not knowing what to do. Because you don't need to know what to do. There is this natural state in just being, and not being to get somewhere, just because I didn't expect this, but there's a tremendous love in just being. And it feels like an adventure sometimes, because there's naturally consciousness that is showing itself as something that is not controlled by thoughts and feelings and circumstances in life. So even if there's sadness or anger or whatever, there is always this consciousness that is aware of this feeling, this sometimes very intense feelings. So those things are allowed. It's no longer suppressing those feelings. They're just allowed to come into the light of awareness. So in one way, I'm allowing everything to appear. There is self-knowledge. In a way, the conditioning is learned. I know my conditioning, or I know the conditioning of this body mind. And at the same time, there is this freedom, knowing that even though there is an immense emotional pain, that it's not that big of a deal. It's if there's an identification with it, there will be automatically a story with it. It's my story, and I'm in this emotional, I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do. But in this awareness, it's just seen as a story, which is always a lie. And it's a physical sensation, which is not dangerous. It's allowed to be here, even though it's not comfortable. It's allowed to be here. So just sitting down, doing nothing, being in this state of I don't know, just allowing it, just being like a mountain, just laying down or sitting down instead of watching TikTok or YouTube, that's so beautiful. That's just because that's the perfect time for the conditioned body mind mechanism to show what it wants to show. There's like this, for example, a negativity, or you feel deep abandonment pain or issues. I think that's what it's called. And you face that. It's a sensation, you feel it, and instead of trying to search or look for a way out, you face that feeling. It's just there. And in that feeling, when you face it, instead of trying to find a solution to solve the problem, you actually develop some kind of strength. I don't know what this strength is. It's just in the experience, it feels like a strength. It's like a resilience in a way, but also it's not a disciplined resilience. It's a loving resilience. It's a kind of love, but it doesn't feel like a personal love. It doesn't feel like I'm hugging myself. It feels like it's hard to describe. But all I can say is that when there's just the decision to be and negativity comes up and it's allowed to be, then there's a new energy unfolding, a fresh energy. Feels like the whole biological system here gets an update, a new software update. It really feels like that. Really, just sitting down, doing nothing about personal problems, but rather feeling them, allowing them to be, not trying to solve them. Only this has changed life in mysterious ways. Because I was a depressed guy, like there was no hope. So I was watching all these non-dual talks, trying to understand it. And now I know, while it still feels like, and I'm not trying to get rid of that feeling, because I know it doesn't work. The one that wants to try to get rid of that feeling is the mind. It still feels like I'm controlling. I'm deciding to move. At the same time, there's a deeper part that knows that there's just one undivided being. It's nature, because there were clear glimpses that there's no such thing as separate human beings, separate. It's one stream of life. And I have no idea what this is. It's a mystery. When we label it, when we label the mystery, then it's just as soon as we think we know what we're talking about, that's when we start to live in a lie. And I did feel like I knew what I was talking about the past years. And when I felt like I knew what I was talking about, there was automatically the feeling, the will to argue with other people who also thought they knew what they were talking about, but I want to prove them wrong. I wanted to prove them wrong. Like, type in the comments, you're wrong. But see, that's not freedom. That's not the freedom I wanted to have. I don't know what it is, but it's just, even though there's a deeper part that knows that all of this is one, and there's a deeper part that knows that suffering can dissolve when one is sitting, there's even the deepest part of me knows that even those two things that seem like, methods to get rid of suffering, the deepest part of me knows that you have to let go of knowledge. Sit down and let go of your knowledge and attachments and just let go. Let go and let God. It's really like the mentality is thy will be done. And that's when magic happens. You feel light as a feather, and it's just somehow life is good. I don't know how. I'm not trying to manifest or do things or, I'm not trying to be more this or less that. It's just somehow there's like this energy. Like the whole life as one undivided whole is like a divine being which is full of love, and I am that, and temporarily it's contracted to act as if it's me. This. And both aspects are true at the same time. So there's like one dimension where I can see I am me. I'm looking at people. We are in this story, your personal story, my personal story. But at the same time, this is just love. This is just one family. This is, or not even family. It's just, it feels like a family. It feels like we are one. And this feeling intensifies when I'm just doing nothing. Instead of, clouding my mind with entertainment in my free time, I'm sitting down, I'm doing nothing. And I fell in love with some Zen teachings. Something's changing. It feels like something's changing. I know nothing's changing. But there's more clarity. There's just somehow, there it feels like there's more clarity, more love, more truth. So yeah.